What's going on, guys? We're in their fantasy draft challenge today, and this one I can only draft players that have been an all-star. I'm not too sure how tough this is going to be. It honestly might be a little bit easy, but I figured I'd give it a try with the all-star game coming up. And since the Panthers are hosting the all-star game this year, might as well be the Florida Panthers. So, like I said, hopefully this works out. I know later on in the draft, there are a lot of veterans who I think, were all-stars in their prime that we should hopefully still be able to draft. Now, I just loaded in here, guys. We got the 4th overall pick, but I'm just going to randomize it for you. We'll see. Hopefully I can get, first overall. Get David. My eyes were closed. I think I was randomizing it. I don't know. I'm gonna assume I was. If not, I guess I'll just be a joke in a different way. So I don't think I've actually ever picked 4 because you kind of miss out on. Yeah, I mean, David there goes number 1. Picard 2. Matthews 3. So still a ton of very good players to choose from here. I was thinking probably Draisaitl. I feel like he sims a little bit better than McKinnon, although he usually plays with McDavid. So on a fantasy draft team, will he do better? I'm not sure, but we're going to do a Draisaitl 4 today, and hopefully this works out for us. Our next pick here, guys, end of the 2nd round. Obviously, still a ton of guys to choose from that have been all-stars. I'm liking Stamkos to this spot. I feel like him playing with Draisaitl could be very good. You got the playmaker and Stammer, the sniper and Draisaitl. Bergeron should be available for a bit longer, I think. We still need another defenseman. I think John Carlson fits that bill perfectly. We're down the 4th round, guys, and I see Evgeny Malkin's available. I feel like we could take him and just have an amazing first line there. Stamkos, Malkin, Draisaitl. Probably just carry the team, honestly, to a playoff spot. And now at this point, guys, I'm actually looking at Malkin's longtime teammate, Chris Letang. I feel like even though they're both right-handed, could have him and Carlson on our top D pair. Now, one thing I'm actually thinking, we might have to take a goalie here earlier than I usually do, just because I don't know how many, all-star goalies are going to be available later in the draft. And it might come down to a thing where if there isn't an all-star goalie available, I think at that point we just have to take the lowest overall goalie because obviously we messed up. So, no offense to Markin in here. He's got starter potential. I really do not want to take him. So, Fleury obviously has been an all-star. He's got Bobrovsky. I mean, Bobrovsky's got such a bad contract. I really wonder how long he'll be there for. Reimer may have been. I feel like Pennington's probably been. Jack Campbell was last year. So yeah, maybe we could wait and go almost back-to-back goalies. Say 8th round and then 12th round. Just to make sure we don't get a 52 in net. And now for the first time in this draft, guys, the challenge actually mattered. I wanted to take Torrey Krug here. As far as I can tell, he's never been in an all-star game unless Google's just not helping me out here. So I'm actually going to go Taylor Hall, I think. Brent Burns, if we wanted a defenseman, should be available for a lot longer. So Taylor Hall there, start working on that second line. Again, I'll probably keep checking on goalies. You still got Bobrovsky, Fleury there, just to see kind of who's available. Do we go Brent Burns? 37 years old, but he's good. Could also go Blake Wheeler, Evander Kane. And now again, guys, I was going to take Evander Kane with his next pick, but he's actually never been an all-star, which is surprising to me. Instead, I'm going to take David Perron here, who's been an all-star one time back in 2020. Two-way forward. I feel like he can give us, some PK minutes, some power play. Pretty versatile. Now, we still do need a second-line center. Gosper just got taken end of the 8th round by the Penguins. I feel like that's actually a really nice pick. Brent Burns is still there. Obviously, definitely want to take him at some point. Okay, so Bobrovsky's gone, but Fleury's available. I feel like we do need a good goalie. Let's go Marc-Andre Fleury here. Just make sure we have a decent starter. And now with our 9th round pick, guys, I'm going to take Brent Burns here. Might be a little bit early due to his age, but he's got a legendary All-Star Game moment, in my opinion. We put on the Chewbacca mask. Obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I liked when he did that. I feel like we really need a defenseman anyway. Speaking of that, I want to make sure we can, keep getting some All-Star defense. I'm going to take Ekman Larson here. Obviously, isn't quite the defenseman he was when he last made an All-Star game. But again, if there's not any defenseman left that made an All-Star game, we got to take the lowest rated guys. I think that's only fair. So, next here, already, this is actually going to start to be pretty slim pickings. I feel like Atkinson has made one, same with Eberle. Jonathan Toews has obviously been an all-star, so he's actually going to be our second-line center. Kind of taking one late here, but I feel like, he's decent enough two-way. Should be all right. Next here, definitely going to be a lot tougher to make these picks. And like I was saying, guys, I want to make sure I get a backup goalie before there's one available. I'm actually surprised. Grubauer did make the all-star team this last year in Colorado where he had insane stats, so going to go Jonathan Quick here. Same rating, but he's a bit older there at 36 opposed to 30. Now, next year, guys, I was looking at Palak. He's actually never been an all-star, which kind of makes sense on a team with Stamkos, Kucherov. It's tough to get the nomination. Atkinson, though, has, like I mentioned. So we're just going to try and fill out the team best we can. Hopefully, can at least, fill out the whole thing. Ryan Suter has definitely been an all-star. Same with Giordano. Maybe we go defense next year, make sure we get solid top 6. And you know what, guys? I think I'm actually going to take Giordano first because he's the same range as Suter, 1 year older, but much cheaper contract. So we'll go with him. Obviously, he's been on the all-star team a lot with the Flames. Suter's still there. So back-to-back veteran defenseman picks. Defense is good. Goaltending's good. We need 5 more forwards now, so this is where the tough part's going to be. I'm pretty sure TJ Oshie's been an all-star, and he has, but only one time. That's kind of crazy. So I will add Oshie there with Atkinson. Still need a third-line center. Jeff Carter, I'm almost positive, has been one as well. All right, guys, so next year I was going to take Jordan Staal to be the perfect 4th line center for us. Obviously, so good defensively. Unfortunately, he's never been an all-star, so I'm actually going to take Josh Bailey next here. I don't know how good his faceoffs are. Maybe he could play center for us on that fourth line. And actually, guys, we got lucky. I just realized Paul Stassi's been an all-star before, and he's a very good two-way center, so I think he'll fit perfectly on that fourth line center role. Maybe even honestly go third line. So all we have to find is one more player who's been an all-star. We don't need defensemen, as I think Johnson definitely was at one point. And our final pick here, guys, actually found a couple former All-Stars. Corey Perry, Zach Parise. I think Perry's a bit better physically. They're both the same defensively. Plus, Perry has another iconic All-Star moment, bringing out the mini stick in the breakaway challenge. So we got to go with him there. Honestly surprised we're actually able to get, 20 former All-Stars in this fantasy draft. So curious to see how this team's going to do. All right, guys, I just have the lines for this team and sim through the preseason. We're currently 5-1, so that's a good start. David Perron there, actually, scoring leader. 8 points in 6 games. So overall, I feel like this team definitely should be a playoff team. Maybe Stanley Cup. We'll obviously have to wait and see. As I mentioned, going top line heavy there. Malkin, Draisaitl, Stamkos. I feel like that has potential to be one of the best lines in hockey. All three of these guys, could be on that first page of scoring with like 90 plus points, maybe even 100. Second line there, Perron, Taves, and Hall. I feel is very solid second line. Around the top 6. I mean, Atkinson, Carter, Oshie on the third line's not bad. Perry, Stassi, Bailey on the fourth, I also like. They get a +1. Defensively here, Carlson, Letang on the top pair get a +2. We then have Burns, Ekman Larson, Giordano, and Suter. And goaltending-wise, of course, we got the 2 veterans there in Fleury and Quick. In terms of the special teams here, guys, we get a +5 on the first power play, which is absolutely stacked. Second here also isn't too bad. The 4-man 1 there, also very good. Had to put Malkin on the second just because we had like no good centerman basically to fill that spot. PK-wise, I feel like, pretty solid there. The only issue would be the first 3-man is a -2. I don't know why Jonathan Toews is like pretty good two-way player, but still has an X there for his PK fit. But overall, like I said, I think this team's looking pretty good. If you guys are curious what the captaincy here, decided to give Draisaitl the C, being our top pick, and then Malkin and Stamkos there, both wearing A's. So literally that first line is our leadership group. It's our best players. We'll see if they can carry this team. Now, in terms of the ratings here, guys, we've got 96 offense, 94 defense, 87 goaltending. Let's see how they do. This is kind of nuts, guys. I'm sitting through the trade deadline, and Edmonton just traded Kevin Korchinski for Drew Doughty. Absolute blockbuster. We'll see. Edmonton can make a run now. As we're at the end of the season now, guys, we finished 1 win shy of 50. 49, 20, and 5 our record. 103 points there on the year. First in the Atlantic Division. Islanders won 16, so they popped off. The Flames as well. Maybe those two will be in the Stanley Cup final. Hopefully, though, it can be us. AHL team with fantasy draft doesn't really matter. Draisaitl there, over a point per game, 84 and 82. Not too bad. I was hoping for, a bit better from him, being 94 overall, playing with Malkin and Stamkos as well. Stammer there, point per game, 82. Malkin was close to 79. Hall had a pretty good year, 64, -5 though. Brent Burns put up 50 points, same with Perron. Carlson, 45 is okay. Taste 44 is also pretty decent. Letang, 40. Could have been a little bit better. You got Atkinson and Oshie there, almost putting up 40 points. So, overall, not too bad. I think everyone could have done a little bit better, though. Fleury stats here, in .91 save percentage, 2.76 goals against. Quick's numbers there were actually a little bit better, which is kind of funny. I feel like that's always seems to be the case with the backup. Now, check the entire league here, guys. Tage Thompson on the Avs, 112 points, absolutely popped off. Barkov there. You then got Zuccarello, who's playing with Thompson, so a nice playmaker there with a sniper. Eichel, Kaprizov, Matthews, Panarin, McDavid, and Aho. Looking at goals here, Kaprizov first, the 54. Kind of cool to see him popping off. Defensive scoring, Quinn Hughes, 79. Actually, on Vancouver. And now looking at goaltenders here, guys. Vanacek actually had the most wins, the starting goaltender there for the Flames. 43, very impressive. Best save percentage here goes to Allmark, though, who, of course, tearing it up right now with the Bruins. 916. And the best goals against there for a starter is Vanacek, though. 267, makes sense. Now, in terms of rookie scores, look at that. Owen Power put up 69 points with the Blue Jackets. Kent Johnson now in the Blackhawks, so kind of funny to see. Shane Wright actually stays in the NHL. Oh, wow. Columbus had Owen Power and Shane Wright. They were just trying to build a dynasty, it looks like. In terms of the entire league, I feel like we're third. We'll do a quick check. No, we're fourth there. We did tie the Avs, though, in points. Kind of a funny year. Washington there gets in at 19. Columbus, 21. So the West was just a lot better than the East. I'm sorry, Canucks fans. You get last there. Tie with the Senators. Goals for the Avs there are in first. We finished fifth, which isn't too bad. And then best goals against there was the Jets. And we were third. So heading into the playoffs here, I feel like we're a pretty strong team. Hopefully, we can get a good matchup. We're playing a team that's from the Metro. We've got the Washington Capitals, who, as I just showed you guys, were like, what, 21st the entire NHL? I mean, they got McKinnon and their team, obviously. That's a big deal. They've also got Jesper Bratt there. Skinner and Schultz, okay. They got a few heavy hitters there. And Sammy Blais, Adam Lowry, and Sean Corrali. Fourth line there is actually not too bad. Olsen, Zaka, Gurianov. Defensively here, Girard and Spurgeon, Brandstrom, Susi, Delzato, Jaracek. Goaltending wise, Swayman's their starter. Nedeljkovic there backing him up. Also, too, guys, you might notice with like the ratings, the X Factor. This is like an early look at my roster, which I'm getting close to finishing. I see all you guys commenting. I try to reply to most of you. Hopefully, that'll be done in the not too distant future. But guys, right here, guys, the playoffs. First 2 games are at home, and we get a 4-3 win, a 4-3 win. Okay, so back to back, heading to Washington now, possible sweep. And I should not have said that. Every time I say that, I feel like I get a loss. Luckily, though, we do win game 4, up 3-1. And there we go, close it out in 5. Moving on to round 2 here, we'll face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay. Now, this Maple Leafs seems a bit strange, guys. They got Bertuzzi. Lundell's up to an 89. He's grown a ton. He must have had a big year. Yeah, 72 points there for them. Trevor Moore back in the Leafs. You got Mantha there, Verhaeghe, Kevin Hayes, who's a center. Well, Verhaeghe here's a left wing / center, so I'm not sure why like they don't put him on the left wing, Hayes in the middle. Hayes, yeah, does have better face-offs. Paul Byron there, third line, Nick Foligno, Nathan Bastian. Fourth line there, Donskoy, Carlson, and Janmark. Okay, so again, I feel like I figured out what this game does wrong. If they have even one X Factor, doesn't matter if it's born leader, truculence like Nick Foligno, they get to go higher in the lineup than a guy like Carlson who's way higher rated, which I think is pretty stupid. Defensively, that top pair is insane. Roman Josi, arguably the best offensive defenseman in the NHL. Jonas Brodin, one of the best defensive ones. Matt Roy there, Condre Miller, Kulak Brody. Ooh, look at that. Defense is really solid. They got Demko in net too. So the forward group isn't the best, but probably the best defense I've seen yet, and a pretty solid goalie. Let's see how we match up here. Hopefully we can take him out. We actually have the home ice advantage. So first 2 games there. A loss and a win. I mean, we'll take that. Head to Toronto now. 3-0 win, 2-1 loss. Close series, all tied up. Game 5. OT loss. This could be it for us, guys. Hopefully we can force Game 7. We do not. Wow, okay, so we lose in 6 there, the Maple Leafs. So I guess all the Maple Leafs need to win a playoff round is a fantasy draft, which I feel like isn't too big of an ask. And the playoffs are now over, guys. The Colorado Avalanche actually won the Stanley Cup, which makes sense. We saw that they were a really good team there, and I mean, led by that duo of Tage Thompson, Matt Zuccarello. Vancouver Canucks picked first overall, so even though they got last, they get Connor Bedard, the hometown boy, the best prospect since McDavid. Malkin there, almost a point per game in the playoffs, 10-11, so he definitely was pulling his weight. I feel like against that Maple Leafs team, I don't know, they just had amazing defense, probably a good goalie. Hall, Draisaitl, Taves even all put up 9. Stamkos a little bit slow in the playoffs, honestly, only having 6-11. Fleury stats weren't too bad, so yeah, I guess just ran to a better Maple Leaf team. Avalanche there, swept the Wild. Predators in 7, Flames in 7, Devils in 7. So, played a lot of hockey, but they earned it. Awards here, Stanley Cup, of course, the Avs. Let's see, individual here, Tage Thompson, Art Ross, and the Hart. Ekblad, James Norris, Kaprizov, Lady Byng, Owen Power, Calder, Pavelski, Conn Smythe, Hellebuck there, Vezina Trophy, Kochetkov, William Jennings, Carolina coach Jack Adams, Barkov, Selke, Tage Thompson, also got Ted Lindsay, and then Kaprizov there, Maurice Richard. So I think that was a pretty good sim, guys. Unfortunately, just got lucky in round 2 with the Maple Leafs, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.